White shirts on the pitch, running fast through the night. Every heart beating loud under floodlit sky bright. Sons of London stand strong, in the stands they belong. Voices echo like thunder, to the club they sing along. Up in Spurs we arise, eyes on the prize. Victory in sight with all our might. King's fire in his eyes, glory's what he seeks. With every goal he flies, rising to new peaks. From the lake to far and wide, with the pride of the fight. On this journey we'll ride, with our passion burning bright. Up in Spurs we arise, eyes on the prize. Victory in sight with all our might. From the lane to far and wide, with the pride of the fight. On this journey we'll ride, with our passion burning bright. Up in Spurs we arise, eyes on the prize. Victory in sight with all our might. With all our might. With all our might.
Yes, good evening and welcome to Thfc, till I die, your home of Tottenham past, present and exciting future under Ange Postecoglou. And yes, we have some news tonight. We've got all the fixture changes for Christmas. We've got looking at a bit of Brennan Johnson's been named goal of the month, and we'll talk about that. That's going to be great. Also talk a little bit more about last night, about the sort of takeover. I'm sitting on a load of news, which I cannot tell anyone, but I can share a little bit. But this is where the reports of Eddie Howe come out. And I want to know what you guys think. Also, Stig Jr. is going to have his say. But we are going to start with some breaking news. England have a new manager. Thomas Tuchel has agreed to become the new England manager. I will give you more information, of course, on that once and when I get it. But joining us tonight, he is back by popular demand. He is the man of the watch-alongs. And some say he could be working as a KGB Spurs agent. And also some say he likes to go out in the afternoon with his dog and feed the penguins. All we know, he's called Stig Jr. How are you, Stig?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, maybe I do feed the penguins. Maybe I feed the penguins to my dog. Who knows? Nobody knows, do they?
No,
And
nobody knows.
If anybody, if you can hear jumping in the background, or growling, I do apologise. My dog's just found something and
really?
attacking it. Must
He's
be a
found
small
the penguin.
Yeah, must have found the penguin.
I suppose you didn't mention the secret KGB Spurs agent. I'm just surprised you didn't pick up on that.
Oh no, I picked up on it, but maybe I am, maybe I aren't. You don't know.
No, if you heard the phone call today I had with somebody, it was the most scripted phone call ever. I mean, if Putin was listening to Westerners, what they're talking about, the phone call today would have thought they're balmy. I'll tell you about it later. It was the most funniest phone call I've ever had in my life.
The RSPCA won't be helping those penguins anytime soon, pal.
No. No. Anyway, look, let's welcome a few people and let's crack in. There's a lot to get through. Of course, I did a show last night about the takeover. There's rumours of a takeover. She was Andrew Staveley was seen at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Of course, and I think a Saudi Arabian billionaire was sitting there as well. So we're going to talk a bit about that. It's all about a report yesterday that if she does take over Tottenham, whichever way, shape or form, if it's a full takeover or a Man United style takeover, she wants Eddie Howe in the hot seat instead of Ange Postecoglou. So we want to know what you guys think. I'm Anjin all the way. I don't want Eddie Howe anywhere near. I know Stig Jr. is probably going to have a balanced view on it. But let's welcome a few people in. Of course, we've got the one and only Mr. Carl Simpson. Big up, Carl. He says, Dermo, you tease about secret info. Yeah, I know. But if I tell somebody, I will be in trouble. So I can only tell you once I get the green light. And once I get the green light, you know
Dermo's source will be very unhappy with him if he tells about that, and he'll come, and Dermo might be missing some part of his anatomy if he carries on.
Yeah, just think of The Godfather and what happens when you misplease The Godfather. That would be me. We've got big up the car. Somebody called the RSPCA. You leave Stig Jr.'s dog alone. He's I don't know what we're going to call your dog, Stig the Third. It says big up lads, hope you're well. Big up Mr. Welch, hope you're doing well, sir. Big up to Adrian Bell. Haven't seen you before, sir, but welcome to the channel. Please hit the like button and the subscription button if you can, and hit that notification bell, and also pick up your memberships like Carl Simpson and all that. But big up, great to see you. So get your thoughts in. We want to know what you think.
I think you go thought too as well.
Yeah, I'm with you as well, Adrian. I'm a massive Anjin fan. Ange all the way. Ange will take us to the promised land. But this is a report that's coming round. A report that's been put out. It's in the newspapers. It was in the Sun, I think, yesterday. But a lot you read in the Sun is a load of rubbish anyway. But I wanted a discussion about it. I want to know what you guys thought, if that is true. Big up to Tequila 316, a member, of course. This is Stig Senior. Big up, Stig Senior. We've got don't want either, really. Give me Emery. No. Look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I draw the line. He's an ex-Arsenal manager. Why do we want anyone from there as our manager? Even you, Stig Jr. I think you need to go and see Senior Stig and put him in an old people's home. I think it's time.
I think he still forgets where this said manager has managed.
Yeah, I know. So do you agree it's time to put Senior Stig in an old people's home?
Not yet, no.
I think
everybody can have those days.
Yeah, they can. I think it is. All right. Carl says, I do like Howe. He would be a good manager, but at this moment, Ange to see as well. Exactly. And look, I don't get it right. Look, I'll go through chat, and then I've got a question when I start off with this, right? Big up, Adrian, from Thanks Lads from Don't Trip. Yeah, please, everyone, get over to Don't Trip. They are part of the Full-Time Sports Network umbrella as well, guys. Great bunch of lads over there. Watch plenty of their shows. Really good stuff over there. Great lads. We will get you on, Adrian. We will get you on for a podcast. So, lads, we will get you all on because I've watched a lot of the stuff and do good stuff over there, guys. So please get over there to Don't Trip. Put your link in the chat if you can, Adrian, as well, and get over there and hit that like button.
I'm guessing they're just a bunch of fans from all different types of clubs, I'm guessing.
They are, but do great stuff over there. They really do. Really enjoy their content. Yeah, Colin's been on there a few times, so really enjoy that. Chris says the scum, as I call that newspaper, exactly. Is Howe better replacement than Ange? Not for me. Do you know what? I don't think he is, but no for me. Senior Stig says my story and I'm happy with it. That's fair enough. I heard they give good breakfast in the old people's home. We'll find a good one for you. Don't worry, Senior Stig. Adrian, Ange needs time. Of course he needs time. And look, can I just put it out here? I am Anjin. Ange will get us where we need to be. But because it's a story, I just thought I'd put it out there. Me and Colin actually talked about it today, about tonight's show. And he said to me about running this. I thought, yeah, why not see where it goes? Ange won't win anything here. Wow. So Tequila's up for Emery in charge. Fair enough, opinion.
I mean, he's a proven manager and he has won quite a lot, so I do see where he's
but
coming
it's an
from in that
Arsenal
sense.
manager, though.
We've had
Come
Chelsea
on.
managers, we've had Conte, we've had Jose.
Yeah, but Arsenal, really?
No, if he's got the track record of winning stuff and it's consistent.
Yeah. Trust you, Tequila, to throw another name in the mix. Neither would Howe, says Tequila. Sorry, mate, had enough of this blind faith. Yeah, well, look, it's your opinion. I get it. I know, I do get where he's coming from. I just want to say, we're only trying to have a laugh, Tequila, okay? That's all we're trying to do. We're trying not having a laugh at your expense. We're just trying to have a laugh and a joke and try to keep things light-hearted. We're not having a go at you. We're not doing that. You're entitled to your opinion. Yeah, not really, mate. Can't simply having my view joked at. What? All right, fine. Okay, that's fair enough. I'm throwing Christian Grace back in. Oh, Jesus. No. Not good enough. Look, Tequila, look, I'm sorry. If you thought I was taking the piss, I apologize. I wasn't. I was just trying to have a joke. That was all. That's all I was trying to do. But okay, I'm sorry if you're taking it the wrong way. This was the picture that was shown on Sunday. I don't know who that fella is, but that is the game on Sunday because of the Chicago Bears. That's what the other lady is wearing, Stig Jr. Boris. So,
yep.
Amanda Staveley, what is your thoughts on her? Because I don't feel she's the right thing for Tottenham. To be fair.
Honestly, yeah, I do agree with you, but I also agree that it is time to get some investment in. And from what it seems like, she's the only one what's actually solidified from what we've heard and what we've seen of in the news and stuff like that. She's the only name really what consistently pops up. Compared to, like, let's say, Man United and stuff like that. And when Man United had that style takeover, they had two types, didn't they? They had either the Qataris or Ratcliffe. Those were the only two names consistently throughout the entire time when United was getting taken over, which is the same with Staveley. And we've also seen, and what I've heard as well, the fact is everybody says with Staveley and stuff like that, like it'll be extra investment. But the thing is, from what I've heard and from what people said in chats and what I've seen, they've apparently said that she was just borrowing money off other people so she could actually buy a place inside of the club. So it's like she's a sort of consortium type to get all these groups of people together, from what it seems like.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. Just go through the chat. We're back in 2 minutes. Boris, just give us 2 minutes.
Yep, no worries. So whereabouts are we? Yep. So to agreement, it's all by the face off. I can't see Angie winning anything. Copy and paste everything. Yeah, which is understandable. And honestly, I want to give him till the end of the season at minimum. That's why I'd give him to the end of the season, really, unless we are performing really poorly. Then I would see reasons to get Angie out. But if we're sticking around this place and we continue doing well in Europe, I keep him around that time and stuff like that. So yeah, and Adrian Bell has shown what's possible and then had loads of injuries. Yeah, you're not wrong with Ange. You're not wrong with what Ange has. He showed what's possible with everything, and loads of injuries, of course. Like I'd say that Chelsea game was the biggest bump in the road, and then Chris saying completely green. Let's be real. Why did Amanda jump ship from Newcastle after 2 years? Probably because it wasn't really making any money or sense for her to remain at the club. Let's be honest, because she probably got a lump sum off the Qataris and stuff like that for her. And not Qataris, the Saudis. My apologies for anybody if anybody saying that. I'd say they might have offered her a lump sum. Maybe, Chris, I don't know. We can't say for certain. These are just my guesses what might have happened. Like the Saudis might have offered to buy her and her husband's shares out. And yeah, Adrian, yep, you're not right at the start of last season because we got 8 wins and 2 draws in 10 games. Carl saying be back in 10. No worries, Carl. And Chris saying you want a shareholder who's going to put their own money in and not borrow it. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's what you always want. Because we've already had shareholders and stuff like that what actually borrow money, because we saw like what Levy did when Conte had his first season finish and he got top 4. 150 million was taken out, but I'm pretty sure it was money from like the board and stuff like that, wasn't it? And taking out equity against the club.
Yeah, it was 100 million was put in. The 50 million was never actually put back in again. For some reason. I don't know why. Look, for me, I this is either going to go down 2 ways. It's either going to go down the Man United route, or it's going to be a full takeover, one or the other. I can't see any other way of this. I mean, how do you see it going yourself? I mean, what's your opinion on it?
I personally don't see it going the full takeover route, because unless it's somebody like the Qataris will offer like the 10+ billion that Levy will probably want for his shares included, as well as the Lewis shares, I wouldn't see that happening anytime soon. And let's be honest, if the Qataris splash like 10 billion plus on the club to purchase it, I doubt they'll put in as much money as they would if they only paid like 5 billion for it, 5, 6, 7, 8 billion for it. So I'd feel if anything, it'd be like as what's happened at United, like the Ratcliffe style takeover with Ineos.
Yeah. Do you know, for me, look, you can't win. There's people that want Levy out, and there's people that want Levy in. There's people in the middle, right? Where do we go with it? I mean, are we going to the point that we'd be happier with anyone else bar Levy in charge? I mean, are we going to that point where, if you look at there's other stuff happening at the stadium, the money probably not going into the club where it should do, where it should go in for buying players. There's talk of some of this 500 million could be going to invest in the hotel. Where does it stop? Because you're either one way or the other. Does she come in and unite the fan base, and then if that doesn't work, then are we going to be back to square one?
Honestly,
so where does it go? Because I don't get it. Because she jumped ship in Newcastle for 2 weeks. If you want somebody to come in and take over from Levy and try to build success, then you need somebody who's going to be committed for the long term. But is Levy really going to give up that control of the club? I don't know. Is she the woman, or is the man behind her going to invest, say, right, we're going to pay you X amount to make you a minority shareholder? Can you ever see that happening? Because that's the only way it's going to happen.
The only way that'll happen is if he gets a huge lump sum of a payday. And I think I agree with a lot of people that the fact is, like, with Dave, Tequila, and Simply as have all said, like, the fact is, like, Levy being in charge, and we've only won 1 trophy, of course, but we've also got to remember we kind of also looked at with Levy the fact that he's brought us to a stable positioning, and the fact is we can sustain ourselves even if we do end up getting one of these gun-ho takeover ones who end up trying to drive us into administration, like with those sort of ridiculous style of transfer, something like what Bowley or some and Clear Lake Capital would end up doing. But I do also agree with him in the fact is, like, I do see where they're coming from in the sense that we've had Levy for around 30 years. And nothing's shown for it bar 1 Carabao Cup.
I mean, I mean, you could go back to Alan Sugar, and I don't want to go back to them times. I said it last night in my stream that I don't want to go back to where we were under him. Look, Daniel Levy is a decisive figure. You love him or you hate him, or it's one way or the other with him. Look, he hasn't brought success on the pitch. I agree with that. He's made us stable off the pitch. Yeah, that's great too, because you can 2 of them have to work hand in hand. You've got to have stability off to gain success on the pitch, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course.
But you cannot have one more than the other. And at the moment, it seems to be more looking at the stability of the pitch than the success on the pitch, where I think that the eyes have been taken off the ball. Now,
Yeah, of course.
you where are you on this now? It says here, and this is what I was given and told to say, that Amanda is serious about being involved with Spurs and is hoping that an internal purchase can be completed within weeks. I mean, where are we going with this? I mean, are we? Look, I agree. Look, the killer says here, right, which is something I agree with actually. So we're on this year's investment story. We're waiting for the next one of these.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's not wrong because
he's not wrong. He's not wrong because we've had this before again and again. But again,
yeah, didn't we have it? Wasn't last year? Wasn't it the Qataris like last year?
Yeah, it was.
Before they went to Man United, because they said there was two clubs, one in London and one in, and then Manchester.
Yeah. So are we now at the point that we would take anyone bar Daniel Levy? Has it got to that point?
Honestly, I feel like it has, yeah.
I think it has, but do you? I want us to chat something, right? And I want to put them out. I know Tequila is very. I would love Tequila on this because he's very good topics on this, and he does make very good points from the Levy outside, and I think he makes very balanced arguments on that as well. Something that I do enjoy talking to him about. And again, I apologise if it felt my joke was over the line to get on. I'm very sorry.
Simply you said a perfect statement to round all this up, really. We're in an infinite circle.
We are. We are in an infinite circle. So how do we get out of this? Do we go with Amanda Staveley and her motley crew? And fingers crossed it hopes well. Then if that's the case, then does she say, right, I don't want Ange, I want Eddie Howe in charge? Do you know? And then it's another rebuild. Maybe he doesn't like the players he got. Does she then splash? Which she didn't splash many millions up at Newcastle when she was in charge up there.
Yeah, but let's be honest, Newcastle couldn't really splash the money, could they, due to FFP and all that sort of stuff, compared to like us, let's say. Because wasn't it like around 400, 500 million? We 500, 600 million we can spend in one window and be safe.
We can spend up to 400 million. That's great, but do you really want to spend, be like Chelsea or spend a lot of money and get to a point where we break FFP and we get points deductions?
No, I want to spend the money on the right players, let's say, because let's be honest, like I agree with everybody saying, why didn't we purchase Eze? Because we literally let's be honest, Levy screwed us out of getting Eze because he didn't want to pay more up front, did he? I'm not even going to deny that. I said and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just going to be honestly, and like we saw with as soon as the Saudis came in, their major purchase for that window, for their first window was Isaac, wasn't it? Alexander Isak from Sociedad. Yeah, I think it was
Sociedad. Yeah.
Yeah, like look at that. That's one major signing for them, and look how high that's taken them in terms, like in the first season they ended up getting top 4. Well, no, they didn't get top 4, but they got they got top 4. Yeah, it was top 4 because then the season after what just happened. Yeah, because the season after what just happened, they ended up going out of it and stuff like that. But but you see what I mean? Like I think they knew what to spend the right money on and stuff like that, and we don't know. And they was able to give that money to the directors and stuff like that, and they knew how to spend that correctly and stuff like that. So
Newcastle also had Dan. What's his name? He's gone to Man United now as their director of football. Yeah, they had him in charge. Has John Lang done enough for you this window? Because I don't think he has. This window, I think we're really on.
Yeah, he hasn't done much, but Well, that's the thing though. Paratici didn't really do as much as everybody thinks he did. It's just because he's got this status with the club, if you know what I mean. Like he didn't really do much in his first window, did he? Let's be honest.
No.
he didn't do much and stuff like that. So I think over time he got more of that reputation as being this savvy Italian suave man, and being a bit sleazy and stuff like that. That's what he got the reputation of being, like that sort of one who got the connections in Italy to get us like those sort of gems of players. Like, let's be honest, nobody knew Mickey van der Ven before we got him. Nobody knew. Well, the only one everybody knew before we got him really was Solanke. Yeah, nobody knew Vicario.
Yeah.
The only ones everybody knew really was Solanke and maybe a bit of Brennan Johnson.
Yeah, who's done well. We're going to get into him later. Tequila says, again, Tequila, I apologise for my joke. If you took it the wrong way, it was never meant to go that way. So I do apologise.
And if I did offend you at all, Tequila, as well, I do apologise as well if I did.
Yeah, it was only meant to be tongue in cheek. And look, I am sorry. I know you're not well, and I was trying to ring you today, see how you were, and I've tried to ring you yesterday as well to see how you were. I know you're not feeling well, so I was just trying to cheer you up with the joke. But look, I know what it's like when you're not well as well. So look, I apologise. How would be sideward step? Not worse, but not good enough to win us anything. Look, whoever takes over. Look, I agree. I don't want Eddie Howe at the club. That's what I do agree with Tequila on that. It would be sideways step. So I'd rather you stick with Ange. But Tequila did say Emery. Would Emery come to us? Probably not, because he's just signed a new long-term contract at Aston Villa.
And it's not even just that. Look how well Villa have been doing in the Champions League and in the Prem right now. They're still flying no matter what. Yeah.
And with his link to Arsenal, would he come to Tottenham? I don't know if he would or not. George Graham did. I know George Graham's the only other. Terry Neal, George Graham. Were the only other two Arsenal managers to come across the North London divide. But, you know, is Ange the best? I think, look, for me, Ange will win us something. I think Ange will win us something this season. I think we started well. It started well in Europe. We've now sort of picked up points in the league. Okay, the Brighton game wasn't great. I'll admit that. And we got Man City in the League Cup. So I feel we're on to something. But surely, would you stick with a manager until the end of the season if you were to come in, taken over the team and give him a chance to prove himself?
Yeah, of course. I give Ange, unless it's going downhill, like we're out of all comps and we're down like mid-table to bottom half of the league.
Yeah.
That's when I get rid of him. But if we're still in all the comps and stuff like that, and we're still hovering around between 5th and 8th and stuff like that, I'd keep him around. And if we're still in all comps and we're advancing in the competitions and we're still hovering around 5th to 8th, I'd play it out and see how he goes until the end of the season. But if he ends up falling out of the comps from stupid mistakes, what he could end up making and stuff like that, like say in the Carabao Cup, if we go up against City and he puts on a very weak side in the Carabao Cup and does the same in the Europa League, I think I'd lose all faith in him. Because everybody says, like, Ange is this manager who wins. He's even said it himself. I do have to agree with Tequila as well. Ange has said this clearly, that he's a manager what says he wins stuff every single second season. And I want to give him that faith, but he's still... With some stuff he does, it makes it harder for me to place enough faith in him. So I'm going to take it one game at a time. I'm not going to keep it.
I've seen what he's done I've seen a lot more of Ange up in Celtic, and maybe I use that as more of a more as a yardstick for me to know what he can do if he's given the right players, if he's treated with the right players that he wants. I know what he can do. I've seen what he can do. And anyone can say the Scottish League is not a great league. You still got to beat what's in front of you up there. You still got to beat Rangers twice or I think it's 3 times a year, twice a year. It used to be 4 times a year, but it's twice a year now. You've got to go and beat the likes of Aberdeen or wherever's in that Premier League. It's never easy to win anything up there. And he's won everywhere he's gone. And I think it's belief in himself that he says, I believe in me that much that I can make a statement and back it up. Now, if he doesn't win anything this season, then he's failed. And then I've already said, if he doesn't quite, I've already said, and I've stated it, and I'll say it again. I think I said it with a show with Tequila. If he doesn't win anything and he doesn't finish top 4, then Andrew will go, because then he hasn't fulfilled his promise in what he promised he'd do. But I have this blind faith in him that he will win us something this season. I would take a League Cup tomorrow. I would take a Europa League. I think we've got a great chance in Europe. I think we've got a great chance. If we can beat Man City, I think we've got a great chance in the League Cup. The FA Cup as well. We haven't won an FA Cup since 91. So I do believe he will get us there. But if he doesn't, and he gets to the season, then what do you do? Do you sack him, or do you chance him for a third season? Where do we as a club have to stick by a manager through the good times and bad times? Where do we as a club, right, we're going to stick by you no matter what, through thick and thin? Look at Sir Alex Ferguson. He hasn't won. He didn't win anything in his first 4 years at Man United. Won an FA Cup in 91. The rest is history. He was one game away from getting sacked. Where do you then draw the line? Because it proves if you stick by a manager, you will end up being successful. If you keep sacking managers, like sacking Martin Yole at half time, sacking managers left, right, and centre, it doesn't work. You're rinsing and repeating all the time. So what do you do?
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, we have to. We saw what happened with Poch and stuff like that. He failed to win the Champions League final. He didn't. He failed to win any single chance of cups, any chance of silverware, the biggest silverware in all of Europe, and he ended up getting sacked for it, which should happen if Ange doesn't win anything this season. Because I understand we're supposed to thing, but if Ange doesn't improve on his placement, or end up getting another trophy and keeps around the same placement around 5th to 8th, if he keeps around the same placement 5th to 8th and he wins a trophy, I think everybody will still back him. But if he manages to win absolutely nothing and doesn't improve, that's when I think the fans will tell him, no matter if we finish like 5th or 8th, I still feel like if he doesn't end up winning anything, with how much money's been spent with him, like I think it's around 400 million, I don't see him staying though, unfortunately for him and stuff like that.
I mean, let's go through some of these. Go Tequila then puts here, pretty much sure Ange will be here all season anyway now with Tuchel. Tequila, let me know what you think on Tuchel taking over the England job. Are you happy with that? Any England fans that are in the chat, let me know. Are you happy with a German manager taking over the England job? Because I've been hearing a lot of stuff in the last couple of hours over social media that they're not happy. They're not happy. They reckon they should have gone for an Englishman, should be in the job. Look, we had Jack Charlton back in the 80s. I was telling Boris before, an English World Cup winner come over and took over our national side and brought us to success. Well, success for us anyway, which is qualifying for a World Cup and the European Championships. Beating England, was big for us. Where are you guys? So I want to know what you guys think. We've got Keeler saying nothing special, better than Carsley. Then why was Carsley then not good enough then, Tequila? Let me know who would you have picked for England manager? That's a better question for the chat. Put in the chat who you wanted as England manager. Who would you? I'll do that to you as well, Boris. Who did you want as England manager?
As Tequila said, Howe.
Why?
Because in general, he's probably one of the best examples of an English coach since, as you said, as Bobby Charlton and stuff like that, and all those sort of managers. He's probably the best English born and bred manager since him. That's the only reason I see it. And as Tequila said as well, it should be their own nationality what runs the club. Like we have seen what happens when a non-English one comes in. We look at Sven. look at all of, like, it wasn't just, yes, the golden generation, as we all call it. They were all a bunch of single-minded players who a lot of people say played for themselves, but it didn't also help when, like, the manager didn't bring them together and stuff like that. Like, I'd say that's what Gareth did the best out of everything. Everybody gives Gareth stick because of his tactics and stuff like that. Yes, I would agree with that, but he managed to bring the entire England squad, revamped it entirely, and brought the England squad into the 21st century and got us to 2 semi-finals and two semi-finals and 2 finals.
So, I mean, look, I've watched a bit of England during the last Euros, and all I got ready from majority of England fans was he was boring. He wasn't a good manager. What do you want from Tuchel, right? He's the manager now. I know Tequila said Eddie Howe. We've got Carl says Harry Potter was available because I think, right, I slightly disagree with that. It should be an Englishman. It should be the best man for the job. We've got somebody from Iceland. We had an Irishman in our job for Ireland, Stephen Kenny, who was woeful, right? All our success, Mick McCarthy was the last genuine Irish manager that took us to a World Cup in 2002. We've had Martin O'Neill, a man from Northern Ireland, who's Irish, and then Roy Keane took us to Euro 2016 in France. Trapattoni took us, was it 2016? Yeah. Trapattoni took us to 2012 in Poland and Ukraine. So it should be the best manager for the job. Then, if that's the case, then are the FA failing in their job of developing good England managers then to take over the job then?
I don't even just think it's that. I just think in general there's that many good managers out there what aren't English and stuff like that. And the fact is all those ones are getting picked in the Premier League. And let's be honest, most English managers are either in the lower leagues or in the Championship or maybe... And that's it, really. The only English manager still in England right now, I'm pretty sure now, is Howe, if I'm thinking correctly. Because it used to be Palace as well, but they got Glasner replacing Roy Hodgson. So I'm pretty sure Oh, no, and there's also Ipswich as well. Ipswich and maybe some of the other teams will have just come up as well. But, like, that's around 4 out of, 20-odd teams, 18, 20 teams, I can't remember. It just shows how little of England's managers have actually been looked at, if you know what I mean.
And also, can I add as well, there's a lot of good black managers as well, English black managers that should be given an opportunity as well.
Well, in general, it's just English managers overall. English managers overall are getting overlooked, no matter the skin colour.
Yeah, no, the point I'm making is, if you look at managers across all of the leagues, how many black managers are there in all of the leagues? How many black managers is there in the Premier League? How many black managers is there in Championship, League One or League Two?
Well, I'd have to go look for the Championship and League Two, and League One, League Two.
There isn't many. There isn't many, is there? There isn't many. So
no, like the last one I remember was
Paul Ince.
No, I'm on about the Hull City manager, the old one that almost got him into the playoffs last season.
Yeah, I know who you mean. I can't think of his name.
His dad was a manager for a tiny bit, but then ended up getting sacked in 30 minutes later after a takeover happened, and he was one of the Derby guys. Yeah,
I get you. But the point I'm making is, I think the FA as a organisation is failing.
Liam Rosenior, that was it.
Yeah, he would. See, I think the FA are failing English managers in the UK. See, the Premier League has been built up to be the best league in the world, where the Premier League brings in plenty of experienced European managers, where the English managers are not getting a chance to learn their craft. There's plenty of good English managers in the Championship. And there's plenty of good... Yeah, I think there is. I think if you were to really scout, if you look at, Germany, who's been the most successful, probably European side in the recent history in World and European Championships, right? None of that. Look, when Germany won the World Cup in 1990, they had Franz Beckenbauer. He wasn't really a manager, fantastic footballer, but not a great manager. His major success really was managing Germany. Then you had the likes of probably other players in Germany getting the job, like Rudi Völler got the job for a bit. Jurgen Klinsmann, he got the job. England, for me, has a chance and has the league to really nurture English managers to really do the job correctly. But they don't do it. They don't push their own. And then you then bring in a load of more European managers, which then pushes them English managers out. So where are they going to cut their teeth? And it's the same with black managers as well. They're not given a chance because too many clubs, too many big clubs in the Premier League go for overseas managers instead of giving an English manager, a chance, like Newcastle with Eddie Howe to cut his teeth in the top league. It's like Brian Clough. Brian Clough should have been England manager, probably the greatest manager England ever produced. But they never did because he wasn't a yes man. So I do feel the FA shot themselves in the foot. I really do. I mean, what do you think? Do you think the FA should take responsibility for this? Because there is going to be a lot of England fans are not going to be happy with this appointment. So what do you say to them England fans that are not happy with this appointment? As an England fan yourself, Boris, and I'd love to know what Carl and Tequila say in the chat as well. What will your message be to them?
Well, I can't really speak for them too in that regards and stuff like that.
Well, speak for yourself. But speak for yourself.
I'd say for myself, like,
yeah,
I agree with like a manager has to be from your own country essentially because they're representing your country and stuff like that. So that's why it was a bit strange that Lee Carsley ended up being manager, considering he was born in Birmingham, but he was chose to play for the Irish.
Yeah, he played for us. He was
exactly.
He was our under-21 manager as well, I think.
Yeah, and he's out, and he's probably going to go back to being our under-21 manager.
Yeah,
but I'd probably say I do agree with the fact is like, but I also agree like with the fact is like there's not a lot of England managers out there. What ends up happening really. So I'd say in general, we've just got to take it with a grain of salt, and hopefully the English managers improve, just like the English national team has improved over this time.
Yeah.
The one thing I will be happy for, and I'll just say to Carl and Tequila, is we'll no longer have to see Trent playing at left back or right back anymore because that guy can't defend for his life.
Yeah, well, we tonight had to beat Italy to qualify for our under-21 side, and it's ended in pain. We did draw 1-1 with Italy. If we had beaten Italy, we would have qualified for the first time ever for the under-21 championships, but we missed out.
England qualified by a landslide, 7-0 against Azerbaijan.
Yeah. The real Yid says, hey, Dermot, it's the same in rugby. Rugby, I think he means rugby and cricket. Yeah, it is. Defoe is going through the program. Yeah. You see, Defoe's going to be I think Defoe would be a great manager, actually. I really do. No, they give Big Sam his dream job. He got caught BSing on a video, and then Southgate for bloody years. Roll on something else. Tequila's liking that one, and again, Tequila, sorry. Yeah, we're very sorry. We'd like to see Defoe being in a finishing coach as we use this at finishing. Is that for England or Tottenham?
Tottenham. More than likely.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Jermaine Defoe. Jermaine Defoe was a great striker.
Oh, Robbie Keane.
DeVoe should be Robbie Keane. Yeah, I love Robbie Keane in a heartbeat. DeVoe should be Werner's finishing coach. Neil Shafton says the manager has to be able to address various personalities for various personalities for the squad, then tactics. It's hard to get both in sync when you have so many millionaires. Do you know what? I don't think that's true. I think a lot of footballers, if you give them simple information, I think I think they take it on board. Personally, I think if you make things simple, they will follow it. If you make it too complicated, then I think that's when you lose them. Would you agree with that, or am I being a bit old-fashioned in my way of thinking?
You're being right with it, but I also do agree with the fact is like a lot of them now have let their egos go to their heads. Like a perfect example is like somebody who's great in a club and for country. Jude Bellingham, he's kind of let the ego get to him a bit too much just because he's playing for Real Madrid, which is a great achievement, and he's one of England's main starters now, no matter what team it is. I just feel in general his ego's gotten to the better of him now, because we saw how humble he was before when he was at Dortmund and stuff like that. But as soon as he's moved to Madrid and had that one amazing world-class season, now all the talk of him being like world-class, which honestly he's probably the closest one to it in the England squad, has happened to him, and probably because of all the money as well. But then we look at somebody like Palmer. Palmer just looks like he's on another planet most of the time when he's speaking. Like, it's like he's fried on something when he speaks most times.
He really is he is once in the generational player, isn't he?
Yeah, Palmer. Yeah, he honestly is. I wouldn't be surprised if he probably ends up winning a couple of Ballon d'Ors in the next 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah. Well, look, let's finish on the Eddie Howe thing. This was the report yesterday in The Sun, as I said, and The Sun are reporting that I could receive a tempting offer to leave Newcastle, and he's been tipped to replace Postecoglou at Tottenham if Staveley invests in Spurs. Now, I was given that to use that yesterday, and I was told I can use that. So to draw a line under this down, we can move on. Look, as good as Eddie Howe is, I agree with Tequila, he's a sidestep. I don't think, and I've always said it, Simon Jordan said it, he was a gatekeeper at Newcastle to get them to the next level, to take, for somebody else to bring Newcastle onto the next step. The thing that sticks in my head, his dad was a very good coach, Don Howe, who coached at Arsenal and at Arsenal for years and coached with England, Bobby Robson for years. I think Tequila would remember that, Carl would as well. So he does come from a good footballing coaching family. So, honest opinion, yeah or nay, Ange or Eddie Howe for you?
If Ange was to go, I wouldn't be upset if Eddie Howe came in.
Okay. I'm still Ange, but look, if I'd be upset if Ange went. If Eddie Howe came in, look, I think Eddie Howe's a good manager. Don't get me wrong, but I agree with Tequila. I think it'd be a sideways step. I don't think it would take us. It would take us.
The thing is, though, I feel like what Eddie Howe will be able to do is like, he'll be like, we know how Ange is. He's got one system, and let's be honest, it's one system only. If we're all being real here, like he'll adapt the system and stuff like that, change stuff around the side of it, but it's always one thing: attack, attack, attack. Never like jump back a bit to defend and stuff like that. And that's what I think Howe will be good at, because we've seen like how Howe destroys teams and dismantles them. Like, and we've seen what's happened with him once he's had a full strength Newcastle side as well. We've seen how strong he's been, how strong those Newcastle sides have been consistently as well. So, but overall, like let's be honest, if Tonali didn't end up getting the ban, if Isaac stayed fit, if Pope stays fit, if all of those players stayed fit last season or didn't get the bans, I'd honestly think Newcastle would still be fighting for top four, as well as as well as also getting a bit further in the Champions League.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, look, let's put that to bed for the time being. It may never happen, but it's a report, and you know, it's something I thought I wanted to discuss tonight. Look, it's just one of them things, isn't it? It's
We hear this sort of stuff every year, as Tequila said earlier on. It's like a yearly thing with Spurs. Oh, reports about investments and stuff like that. And this one, it seems it's not going to wait as thingy, so there is more likely more traction towards it. But the fact is, like, we hear this sort of stuff every single year. Like we heard it last year when Man United were in the midst of their takeover. If the Qataris weren't. If the Qataris weren't investing in United, they were more than likely going to be investing in us, but Levy priced them out and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, look, we'll see what happens on that. We've got the Spurs mascot. That wouldn't be a bad shout, actually. I let you pronounce this person's name because I
cannot pronounce it.
Anyway, what a effing joke. Fair enough. Yeah.
And everybody was then just saying random names to be managed.
Go on, read out the random names for us.
Calcin Giacchi Santini, Simply S.M. Wayne Rooney, and Shafton saying Phil Neville. I don't think Phil Neville will want to come into a job soon after getting fired from Inter Miami. I'm not going to lie to you.
I don't think so. Now, guys, the fixtures for Christmas have actually been announced and changed. And look at that. We've got loads on TV. Look at that.
And
we're on
TV.
Only
one of them is on TNT Sports.
Yeah, which is quite a shock. These are the fixture changes for December. On the 5th of December, 8:15, of course, we're away to Bournemouth. That is on Amazon Prime. On Sunday, the 8th of December, of course, I have full kickoff. That we're home to Chelsea. That's live on Sky Sports. A few days later, we're away at Southampton. Kickoff 7 p.m. It's live on TNT Sports. Of course, 3 days before Christmas, we're home to Liverpool on Sunday. That is a 4:30 kickoff. And then on St. Stephen's Day, which is Boxing Day for you guys over in the UK, St. Stephen's Day over here, it's a 3 p.m. kickoff. And that is on Amazon Prime. So what do you think to them fixtures?
Well, there's 3 we should definitely be winning. And then 2 what are up in the and 2 what are coin flips.
Really? So how many points out of that lot do you think for Christmas?
I'd say 9 definitely we should be getting, but if I wanted to be lucky, I'd probably say 10.
All right.
I'd probably say 10
Bournemouth.
minimum.
Okay,
Win.
Bournemouth. Chelsea.
Loss.
Southampton.
Win.
Liverpool.
Draw.
Forest.
Win.
Right, so you're going for 3.
1-1.
3. You're going for 10, aren't you? Is that 10 points?
Yeah, 3-1-1.
Yeah. Right, I'm going for a win at Bournemouth. I'm going for a draw at Chelsea. I'm going for a win at Southampton. I'm going for a draw at Liverpool and then a win at Forest.
Nah, so 1 more point than me.
Yeah. I can see us getting something. I can see us beating Chelsea.
I'd say if Palmer ends up getting injured, I'd probably say, yeah, we could probably cut Palmer and then Cuckoo because those are their 2 number 10s.
Yeah. I say so. You haven't seen January's fixture list yet. It does get a bit worse.
Look at the
I told you it got worse. Then January, of course, on the 4th of January, the first game of 2025, we are home to Newcastle at 12:30 kickoff, of course, live on TNT. Now, this is where it's changed. The Arsenal game has now been moved to Wednesday, the 15th of January, kickoff 8 p.m. on TNT Sports. Everton has now been moved to Sunday, the 19th of January, kickoff 2 p.m. That's on Sky Sports as well. And then we're home to Leicester on the 26th of January, kickoff 2 p.m., which is on, of course, if you were to get our channel sponsor, Access Internet. No, what's it called?
Private internet access.
Thank you. Click on the link in the description, and also I will put it into the chat as well. But it's in the description below. 2 years for €43 plus VAT, which is around, I think, €48. You get that for 2 years plus 4 months free as well, and you can watch every Spurs game you want. It's a great deal. Cheap as chips, great for Christmas if you're coming up to the Christmas period. Say you're in, I don't know, you've gone away on your holidays and they're not showing the game. Just put it, it's unlimited as well. I tell you why. I tell you what I do. Let's do the video. That would make more sense.
Well, now.
So, now, where is the video?
I don't know. You're the one with that stuff, not me.
I know. I can't find it. Seriously, I can't find it. I found it. Found it. Found it.
What's the surprise?
This is, of course, guys, our new channel sponsor, Private Internet Access. Of course, it is the best and around. Now, listen, if you don't have a VPN and you're doing, as you can see, it goes to hackers, government, and corporate people. But with internet access, private access, it gets locked out of that. Just goes between you and your internet. Nobody sees it at all. It is worth going. You can use it on your mobile as well, guys. So you just put it into your mobile phone. Look, pick on wherever you are. Say you want to be in the USA, and you can watch from there. You can do it on your laptop as well. So you can watch all these great things, Prime Video, Apple TV. You can do all your banking as well, guys, on it. But everything is private. So it goes on all the Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, the lot. It's also on all your devices from your PlayStation to your Xbox to your laptops. But it's not just on one. If I get it, my whole family can use it because it's unlimited. It's around the world as well, everywhere from Canada to Russia to China. It does a private internet access as well. It covers your answer, and it also shreds your footprint as well. They have over 30 million people using it. It gets 4.5 stars on Trustpoint. It is private internet access. It is our sponsor. €43 for 2 years plus VAT, and you get 4 months free on top of that, guys. The link is in the description below. Please do. It does help us. It helps them, and that helps us grow as well. And it helps us to do more shows. It helps us to get more content out there, more to help us guys buy equipment. It isn't cheap. To help all of us upgrade our equipment to make these better for you as well. So please, guys, do that if you can. Right, Stig Jr. Newcastle, Arsenal, Everton, Leicester. Where are you going with them?
Possibly a win against Newcastle since we're at home.
Yeah.
Considering if we're going off how we played against them when we were away, we only lost by 1 goal.
Yeah.
Arsenal, maybe a draw.
Yeah.
I'll go for that. Everton a win. Leicester a win. So,
wow.
10 points.
10 points. Do you know, Newcastle win. I'm going to say we're going to beat Arsenal. Just because we owe them one. I'm going for 12 points. I'm going for 4 wins there. No, going for 4 wins there.
Yeah.
Now,
we can turn it though.
Yeah. Now, I have been known for us to all win 4-0, but I think we will concede goals at Arsenal. So I think we're going to win that 3-2. But the rest of them, we're going to win 3-0. See, even Stig Jr.'s that surprise, he's fell off his chair.
No, I was just yawning.
I know. Sorry, I don't mean to be that boring. Johnson, my man Johnson, in the claimed September Goal of the Month award, the goal that would be fondly remembered for some time, largely because of Mickey van der Ven's quite outrageous run and the pass to set up the goal. It was the Welshman's fourth goal in 4 games as we stormed to a victory at Old Trafford. It's now 6-6. He has matched, I think, Harry Kane's
77?
77, but he matched Harry Kane's 6 goals in 6 games.
Yeah, in the Brighton match.
And the Brighton game, but it's now 7-7. How pleased! I'm over the moon for Johnson. I think it's fair play.
Yeah,
to
well, we've just got to hope this form continues, and it's not just as everybody was bashing Richie for it. Let's just hope it isn't a purple patch.
Yeah, that's it. Also, Sonny could be back for the West Ham game, guys, on Saturday. For what I understand, this is from Ali Gold. He says, for what I understand, he should be involved in training over the course of this week at some point. But of course, we always have to stress this is a muscle injuries of any sort. It's very much all of those first couple of days because you can come back. Feel absolutely fine. And the moment you get involved, any kind of twisting and turning contact elements into training, you can feel it. You don't want to aggravate it. That is the best case scenario. So I reckon bench on Saturday for Sonny. Do you think so as well?
Yeah, of course. He's one of those things, isn't it? Like with him, like there's a high likelihood that it's going to be him just sitting on the bench for that match.
Yeah.
And if not, he'll probably just be in the stands with people like Wilson, because the one I'll probably see is the fact that I'll probably see Richie starting.
Yeah. Now, we've got Levy dreams of finding, and when I saw this, my blood boiled a bit, but we're going to end off with this. Levy dreams of finding NFL franchise called Tottenham home, journalist claim. This is from Ali Gold. Ali Gold has now predicted via Football.London that Levy hopes to one day find an NFL side willing to make Spurs Stadium their permanent home. The Spurs chairman is allegedly dreaming about having an NFL side based in London who will play their home games at Tottenham Stadium. That will open the door to having a double-header weekends with both NFL and football, with both matches perhaps even taking place on the same day. I'm now beginning to think, are we a football club anymore?
I don't think the NFL would even allow it because it's in they're allowing matches over here, but I don't think they'll ever be able.
Oh no! Yesterday, there's talk of the Super Bowl being played in London.
Yes, but that doesn't mean every single match week in, week out, though. That's the thing, because you also have to remember if an American team, that means all those players will have to move to London, get set up in London, and then whenever there's an away game, they'll have to travel away to America.
Yeah, I think what it is, he wants to set up a English NFL team, a Tottenham NFL side.
What's he going to call them? The Tottenham Bears?
Probably.
The Hotspur Claws or something like that.
Yeah, that's what he wants. He wants he wants an English franchise. He wants the NFL to say to him, come on.
I don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening, but if it ever did, would you just throw your arms up in the air and think, I'm done?
Honestly, if this ever happened, highly unlikely, but if it ever did, yeah, I'd be honest, I'd be done with him. You can't defend him when he does stuff like this.
But we do have a stadium that is multi-use.
Yes, but the difference is though that multi-use, its main purpose is football.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh, Cal's got an even better name, the Hotspur Bottlers. Sounds like a good name.
It is a very good name, but is this the route we're going down now?
What do you mean by that?
Is this the route that Levy's going to take us down?
Could be. We don't know.
So, this sort of goes back to my earlier point then, and what I started the show about is, would we take anyone rather than Daniel Levy to own our football club? If this is what's coming down the line, if the NFL, if he gets his wish, and this is only a dream, right? This is only Ali Gold has put this out there, but I feel it's worth talking about. If we, as a Premier League if you look at Man United, they're the biggest franchise in the world, right? They're the biggest football club in the world, right? Same as Liverpool.
Yeah.
Probably the two biggest clubs in the UK. If you want to compete with the likes of Man City, who are backed by an oil-rich nation, and Man City, do you know? It's
Carl does
Levy
make a
either.
good point here. I guarantee all the new stadiums in the Premier League will do this, not just Levy. I think
Yeah.
just Levy set the precedent for it, like to
That's
make
the
these
point
more
I was gonna.
concerts and
Yeah,
things.
that's the point I'm making. Also, is he ahead of his time then in a way?
Yeah, I think Levy has been ahead of his time in a lot of it because let's be honest, Levy, like you've never seen another owner of a club, bar Levy, really, investing into the local community either, have we? We haven't seen them building hotels around it, building anything like that, really, have we? We've not seen that
No.
sort of stuff happening. Like the only people I'm hearing about from what we've heard and what we're seeing is like Chelsea. They're wanting to do
Yeah.
similar sort of stuff now, aren't they, and stuff like that. And the thing is, they're wanting to move the football ground, but they won't be able to call it Stamford Bridge because it's located on Stamford Bridge. But I'd also
So-
say as well with this,
Yeah.
we also have to say that the Spurs chairman is allegedly dreaming. We don't know if it's actually the truth. It's only allegedly, and Alec
Well, there
could be
has been
thinking it's
talk
just
for
because there's
years, but
that many matches going on there. But that could just be
Yeah.
for more revenue.
Look, I'm old school, so I feel for me a football stadium should be just used for a football stadium. End off. That's it. No, nothing more, nothing less. You play how many games at home? You play your cup games. That's it. That's all it should be used for. If you want to do this, use Wembley Stadium. They do other matches there. They do concerts there. Use that. But football isn't like that anymore. And do we have to move with the times now? Do we have to move to how football is evolving?
I think
Football
Spurs
is
have
a
already moved to that, though.
multi-billion. You what?
I think Spurs have already moved to that, though, if I'm being honest with you. They've already moved to that sort of way of thinking, haven't they? If you think about it, they've already moved to essentially being that sort of club, what's already down that way of thinking. Like, we've seen it as well, and everybody's saying, like, let's look what Carl's just put in, don't get me wrong, I'll never back Levy, but the reason he's getting a lot of this stuff is because it's well ahead of the other owners business-wise. Well, he's not wrong because he's the only owner I've ever seen. If somebody tell me if I'm wrong here, I'll happily accept it. That he's the only one who's invested outside of the football club, outside of the grounds.
Yeah, and this investment that they're going to get apparently is for this hotel. The investment's not even going into the football side of it; it's going into the hotel. So I don't know. For me, I think this is going to rumble on and on till it breaks. They've only got 2 months to sort this out, by the way, because they did say they would have this sorted out by the end of the year. We're in October.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time now, isn't it, really, before it all gets sorted?
It is. Carl says all other events bring money into the stadium. It's not a bad thing. Football has changed. Yeah, football has changed. Simply A says last thing we want is to play after an NFL game on the same day with the pitch being given the pace. Well, I think it takes
the thing is there's pitches underneath the ground and stuff like that.
It takes 2 days
underneath flooring.
Yeah, but it does. It takes 2 days for them to change the whole stadium into an American football stadium. So I don't get it. 2 pitches, says Carl, and I agree, Carl. I think this Amanda thing will happen shortly. I reckon it's. I think we're on the verge of breaking news on this.
Let's be honest, it's either going to be Amanda or she's going to introduce us to somebody and stuff like that, and she's going to be still the main face. Like, let's be honest, everybody thought it was just Amanda taking over Newcastle, but it turned out to be Saudis hidden in the shadows, didn't it? Until the Saudis actually came out and were shown at the stadium. So Amanda's there, and we've also had reports as well that Saudi Middle Eastern millionaires there and stuff like that, so they could end up all backing her and stuff like that to pay to him to buy a percentage of the club, what could then be used as equity.
It is. Well, look, guys, that is it. Carl says we can't play back to back. The computer technology won't change no, it's 2 days, I think. Well, look, that is the end of tonight's show. Thank you so much. We are back on again tomorrow, I think at 8 o'clock. Myself and I think Boris is on, and Colin as well, where we're going to look at
tomorrow's Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
I won't be on then.
All right, then be me and Colin looking ahead to the Premier League weekend. Thursday, we're going to start looking ahead to West Ham. Friday, we've got the Cockle Clock podcast is back, where me, Boris, and Carl will be going over our greatest managers. And it's down to you guys to pick who was the greatest manager of all time. So please get your thoughts in on that. Boris has sent me his 6, 5. I'm going to do my 5. I'm going to do the 70s and 80s. Colin's going to do the middle bit, and Boris has already done his bit. Look, it's been a great show again. Thank you so much, Boris. Do you want to plug where people can find you?
Yeah, well, they can find me on this great show. They can find me on Twitter at Boris the Spurs with a capital B. You can find me there, and we can discuss Spurs or anything you want to discuss.
Yeah, and also next week on the European Football Network, we are going to cover 2 European games over there. Of course, we've got the Spurs game on here. But next Wednesday, I'm going to be covering Bayern Munich against who they're playing next week. Oh, God, I did know. Who's Bayern Munich playing next week in the Champions League?
They're playing the team.
Do you know what? They are, believe it or not, and they're playing away from home. I actually had this, me and Colin had this chat the other day, and I felt, right, where is it now? Give us 2 minutes. I will find it.
They're playing Barca.
Yeah, that's the game we're covering, because I know Bobby will be covering the Arsenal Shakhtar game. We're going to cover the Barcelona Bayern Munich game, which is going to be an absolute cracker. But big up, we've got Carl, big up the Cockerel Clock. See, you're not catching me at this time. And then Solitary Confinement says Neil, big up to Neil as well. Listen, guys, thank you all for watching. We are back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, me and Carlin. If not, be me and me own. Again, Tequila, sorry for the joke. Didn't mean to offend anyone. It was only a bit of a joke and a bit of a laugh. Just trying to cheer you up, really, because I know you haven't been well. I think he has not. He's got a bad chest infection or something like that. So we're only trying to cheer you up. So we do apologize again. But whatever you do, please do hit the like button. Please do hit the subscription button if you can. Hit the notification bell. Any breaking news we get on this, we'll give it to you straight away, first and fastest as always. But come on, you Spurs. In Big Andrew, we trust. Do you want to give us your signing out thing, Stig Jr.?
Okay. Goodbye and go cry.